Hi, it's Sue. Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading for May 25th. And I am reading Nehemiah's chapter 4 through 6. Verse 1. But when Sanballat heard that we were building the wall, he was angry and very indignant and mocked the Jews. He spoke before his brothers and the army of Samaria and said, "What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they finish in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of rubbish since they are burned?" Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, "What are they building? If a fox climbed up it, he would break down their stone wall." So they're just mocking here. "Hear our God, for we are despised. Turn back their reproach on their own head. Give them up for a plunder in a land of captivity. Don't cover their iniquity. Don't let their sin be blotted out from before you, for they have insulted the builders." So we built the wall, and all the wall was joined together to half its height, for the people had a mind to work. That's what I was saying yesterday. When they finally put their mind to it, they knocked it out. Everybody took a section, they built it. Verse 7. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabians, the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites heard that the repairing of the walls of Jerusalem went forward, and that the breaches began to be filled, they were very angry, and they all conspired together to come and fight against Jerusalem, and to cause confusion among us. But we made our prayer to our God, and set a watch against them day and night because of them. Judah said, "The strength of the bearers of the burdens is fading, and there is much rubble, so that we are not able to build the wall." Our adversaries said, "They will not know or see until we come in among them and kill them and cause the work to cease." When the Jews who lived by them came, they said to us 10 times, "From all places, wherever you turn, they will attack us." Therefore I set guards in the lowest parts of the space behind the wall in the open places. I set the people by family groups with their swords, their spears, and their bows. I looked and rose up and said to the nobles, to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, "Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses." When our enemies heard that it was known to us and God had brought their counsel to nothing, all of us returned to the wall, everyone to his work. From that time forth, only half of my servants did the work, and half of them held the spears, the shields, the bows, and the coats of mail, and the rulers were behind all the houses of Judah. Those who built the wall and those who bore burdens loaded themselves. Every one with one of his hands did the work, and with the other hand held his weapon. Among the builders, every one wore his sword at his side and so built. He who sounded the trumpet was by me. I said to the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, "The work is great and large, and we are separated on the wall, far from one another. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally there to us. Our God will fight for us." So we did the work. Half of the people held the spears from the rising of the morning until the stars appeared. Likewise, at the same time, I said to the people, "Let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard to us, and may labor in the day." So neither I nor my brothers nor my servants nor the men of the guard who followed me, none of us took off our clothes. Everyone took his weapon to the water. Then there arose a great cry of the people and of their wives against the brothers, the Jews, for there were some who said, "We, our sons, and our daughters are many. Let us get grain that we may eat and live." There were also some who said, "We are mortgaging our fields, our vineyards, and our houses. Let us get grain because of the famine." There were also some who said, "We have borrowed money for the king's tribute, using our fields and vineyards as collateral. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brothers, our children as their children. Behold, we bring our sons and our daughters into bondage to be servants, and some of our daughters have been brought into bondage. It is also not in our power to help it, because other men have our fields and our vineyards." I was very angry when I heard their cry in these words. Then I consulted with myself. That's funny. I consulted with myself. I have to stop on that. That's so funny. I consult with myself routinely. And contended with the nobles and the rulers, and said to them, "You exact usury, every one of his brother." I held a great assembly against them, and I said to them, "We, after our ability, have redeemed our brothers the Jews, that were sold to the nations. And would you even sell your brothers, and should they be sold to us?" Then they held their peace and found not a word to say. Also I said, "The thing that you do is not good. Shouldn't you walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the nations, our enemies? I likewise, my brothers and my servants, lend them money and grain. Please let us stop this usury." That's lending with interest. Verse 11. Please restore them even today, their fields, their vineyards, their olive groves, and their houses, also the 100th part of the money and the grain and the new wine and the oil that you are charging them. Then they said, We will restore them and will require nothing of them. We will do so, even as you say. Then I called the priests and took an oath to them that they would do according to the promise. Also I shook out my lap and said, So may God shake out every man from his house and from his labor that doesn't perform his promise. Even may he be shaken out and emptied like this. I like that. He shook out his lap. So I guess whatever cloth or skirt or robe that he was wearing. Verse 13, all the assembly said amen and praise Yahweh. The people did according to this promise. Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year even to the 32nd year of Artaxerxes the king, that is 12 years, I and my brothers have not eaten the bread of the governor. But the former governors who were before me were supported by the people and took bread and wine from them plus 40 shekels of silver. Yes, even their servants ruled over the people, but I didn't do so because of the fear of God. Yes, I also continued in the work of this wall. We didn't buy any land. All my servants were gathered there to work. Moreover, there were at my table of the Jews and of the rulers 150 men, in addition to those who came to us from among the nations that were around us. Now that which was prepared for one day was 1 ox and 6 sheep, 6 choice sheep. Also fowls were prepared for me, and once in 10 days a store of all sorts of wine. Yet for all this I didn't demand the governor's pay, because the bondage was heavy on this people. Remember me, my God, for good, all that I have done for this people. Now when it was reported to Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arabian, and to the rest of our enemies that I had built the wall, and that there was no breach left in it, though even to that time I had not set up the doors in the gates, Sanballat and Geshem sent to me, saying, Come, let's meet together in the village of the plain of Ono. But they intended to harm me. I sent messengers to them, saying, I am doing a great work so that I can't come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and come down to you? They sent to me 4 times like this, and I answered them the same way. Then Sanballat sent to his servant to me the same way the 5th time, with an open letter in his hand, in which was written, It is reported among the nations, and Gashmu says it, that you and the Jews intend to rebel. Well, if Gashmu says it, then it must be true, right? It's kind of like if Google says it. So he says, if Gashmu says that you intend to rebel, because of that you are building the wall. You would be their king according to these words. You also have appointed prophets to proclaim to you at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah. Now it will be reported to the king according to these words. Come now, therefore, and let's take counsel together. So what's happening there? Just on a brief perusal, he's trying to manipulate him, and he's threatening him, threatening to make a false accusation against him, spreading gossip and rumors that aren't true, right? Or Gashmu is. Anyway, verse 8. Then I sent to him, saying, There are no such things done as you say, but you imagine them out of your own heart. For they all would have made us afraid, saying, Their hands will be weakened from the work that it not be done, but now strengthen my hands. I went to the house of Shemaiah, the son of Deliah, the son of Mehetabel, who was shut in at his home, and said, Let us meet together in God's house within the temple, and let us shut the doors of the temple, for they will come to kill you. Yes, in the night they will come to kill you. I said, Should a man like me flee? Who is there that, being such as I, would go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in. I discerned and beheld, God had not sent him, and he pronounced this prophecy against me. Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. He was hired so that I would be afraid, do so, and sin, that they might have material for an evil report, that they might reproach me. Remember, my God, Tobiah and Sanballat, according to these their works, and also their prophetess Noadiah, and the rest of the prophets that would have put me in fear. So the wall was finished in the 25th day of Elul, in the 52 days, when all our enemies heard of it. All the nations that were around us were afraid, and they lost their confidence, for they perceived that this work was done by our God. Moreover, in the days of the nobles of Judah sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear it, but my phone was dinging. Verse 17 again. Moreover, in those days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters to Tobiah, and Tobiah's letters came to them. For there were many in Judah sworn to him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Arah, and his son Jehohanan had taken the daughter of Meshullam, the son of Berechiah, as wife. Also, they spoke of his good deeds before me and reported my words to him. Tobias sent letters to put me in fear. And that is the end of today's reading. Today, short, sweet, only almost 12 minutes, and I even was chattering throughout it. So that's a good one. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you. See you tomorrow.